Welcome back to episode 29 of the Tech Lounge. I'm just back from Taiwan. And
Just
I'm
back.
joined by Kev. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Brian. How about you, bro?
I mean, I've been doing better, but I'm coming off a real big week, man. It's been crazy. A lot of you guys in the comments know what has been going on, and it's just been work, no sleep, and free drinks through Computex all the time. To say I got wasted was an understatement. So I think I actually put on like 3 or 4 kilos while I was there, that's why I went to the gym last night. I got back, first thing was like, nah, going to the gym, burning this crap off, and then getting back into it. So yeah. How about you, man? What's been going on?
I've just been holding down the fort here, man, and keeping an eye on all the Computex coverage, and just reading everything else about all the fun stuff you and Steve got to check out over there. But looks pretty good, man. Did you have a good time at Computex? Was it as good as you thought it'd be?
Yeah, it was really crazy. Like there was I was surprised there wasn't much gaming there. Like it was really just a technology show, and there's actually a lot of networking and stuff. So I'm sure Wendell would have had a fantastic time there. Like there was actually a lot of course, enthusiast consumer products. There's also a lot of business products there too. Like it was really insane. There was just so much business products. I was just like, wow, there was just too many. I didn't even get time to check out everything that I'd want to check out. People were like, where's the X399 stuff? And I didn't even get time to cover the other booths, which MSI and Corsair, they were the sponsors, so I had to cover them. And then, of course, cover some of the other places that were close to the channel. But then other than that, I just, had no time whatsoever. I was meant to go to the Gigabyte booth and do a video for them, and I just didn't get time. I was like, wow. So yeah, in the end, it was crazy. I learned a lot though from this Computex. Definitely learned a lot. Steve was the same. We were just like on, 24 adrenaline rush, just 24/7 adrenaline rush, just like, we gotta get these videos done. We gotta do this. Gotta do that. Gotta do that.
Yeah, I know. He's telling me you guys are going hard, Apparently.
Yeah, we went. Oh, yeah, of course. You gotta go hard, man. Go hard to go home. So I did both.
Yeah, I heard about that as well with you at nighttime.
Yeah, so I didn't get time to check out the X399 stuff properly, but of course we got the roundup today, so we're going to be discussing X399 versus X299. We can weigh in our thoughts. And have you been reading up a lot about it?
Yeah. So I've been really studying this. I made one video about Intel i9, and then I made sort of an updated Intel i9 opinion video, and then talked about Threadripper and all that as well. And it's a big thing everybody's talking about right now, especially after Linus put out his video yesterday, I believe. It came out that just totally blew the argument wide open, and he really he brought up really good points. I pretty much agreed with everything Linus said in his video.
I haven't checked out anyone's videos, man. I have to do it. So what's the verdict here? What's the main train of thought that people are going with this i9 versus Threadripper thing? So I'll see if I'm a contrarian or not.
Yeah, it just seems like basically the gist, the too long didn't watch of Linus's video is that he basically said he didn't understand what Intel was doing. There's the KB Lake X ones, which are going to be that little i5 7640X and the i7 7740X, but they make no sense why they exist, because they only support dual channel memory, and they're going to be going on the X299 motherboard. They don't fill any gap aside from having slightly higher clock speeds and slightly higher TDPs. There's just no place for them. And I talked to Steve from Hardware Unbox the other day before I made my video. I was like, do you know where it's coming in? Because I thought maybe Steve knew something I didn't. And he's like, I have no idea why it exists.
Okay, so of course with that one, it is useless. Like, it is useless for the average consumer. I was speaking to some extreme overclockers, and they said apparently these two will overclock better. Again, it's for the average person. I don't even know why these two CPUs exist. I'm on that same train of thought. I thought you would have got more PCIe lanes at the very least, especially if you want to jump on an X299 board.
No, you just get 16.
Yeah. Completely agree there. I don't even see the point of these two CPUs. Yeah. Okay.
And the price as well, it goes up. That's the other thing. And so it's just, but the thing is, the motherboard, what Linus was saying, that he talked to some people behind the scenes apparently from different companies, and they were saying that a lot of the board partners aren't even going to support Kaby Lake X. So you go buy your X299 and probably only 1 out of 5 will actually support it, because they just don't even want to bother, having to make the motherboard so that these dual channel CPUs can work with it. It's a bizarre thing. So you'll probably find if anyone's unfortunate enough to buy one, then they won't be able to get a motherboard for it, although have limited choices.
So what you're trying to tell me is that it's not even interesting.
Yeah, man. Even for, I don't know how this even started. Like, it's like turned into a meme. I didn't even say it that much, I don't think.
That's interesting.
It's not interesting this time. But that's the main thing, is that I don't know why this exists. I don't know why there's an i5 CPU going on the X299. Like, to me, it was always the Extreme platform was always all the bells and whistles on the CPUs and the motherboards, all the stuff you wanted. They just would throw everything at it, and you would pay these huge prices because it was all the bells and whistles. That's what people wanted. Big expensive CPU, big expensive motherboard. And then now it seems like what's going on? Why is there an i5 on this? Why are many of the i9s trimmed down as well? Compared to their Broadwell EU counterparts, it's like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some discussions about this as well. I don't know what they're really doing, especially with the pricing. I mean, if they want to be competitive against AMD, the only thing that they would have going for them would be the overclocks. How well does it overclock? And no one knows that yet.
Yeah.
How well is the 6-core going to overclock? And even then, I think it should be $350 or lower. That's what me and Steve, Steve and I, we were talking about this, and we thought at 390, it's kind of not that compelling. I mean, you still have to pay. I'm assuming you still have to go out and buy your own cooler. You're still going to have to go out and buy the expensive X299 boards. So that's going to add to the prices when you can go get a 8-core from AMD or a 6-core from AMD and put it on a B350, and save some money. The argument here for value is just not here. Like, I don't see it. One thing that is interesting about it, let's take your term there, Kev, is the level 2 cache. It's doubled. Was it doubled or quadrupled? Someone was telling me it was doubled.
It is increased quite, but that's to offset the fact that the L3 cache has almost been halved from Broadwell E to Skylake X. So it's a significant cut down in the L3, but an increase in the L2.
Okay, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in real world benchmarks. But I don't know what they're doing with the 8-core. This is the one that the price was pretty good. I was liking the $600 price tag until I saw the PCIe lanes. Someone who's getting an 8-core 16-threaded CPU would want more PCIe lanes, especially on X299, and especially for $600 on a CPU. If I'm spending $600 on a CPU, I want like at least 40 PCIe lanes, because then I want to put a capture card on there, graphics card, M.2 NVMe, possibly a 10 gigabit Ethernet PCIe card. So you kind of, there's going to be a compromise there.
I mean, maybe they were looking at what Ryzen was, because remember, Ryzen 7 is 24. So maybe they're thinking, 28, that's still 4 more than like a 1700, for example, could use on X370. So they thought maybe that would be okay. But the problem is that if you're an 8-core, like I got the 6900K, for me, I've got 40 on Broadwell E, and then to upgrade to the equivalent i9, so to get the next 8-core, if I just wanted to get the newer 8-core, I would then be dropping from 40 to 28, which is pretty. The price has dropped as well, but at the same time, that's a pretty considerable drop there. So I'm not 100% sure what the idea was with these. It seems like they're the other thing with the Kaby Lake X CPUs is they won't have the integrated graphics on board, which most enthusiasts don't care about anyway. But there's a particular technology, I forgot what it was. I was thinking about it earlier, that Intel that requires the integrated GPU to run, but it won't be. The other thing is that to run RAID, I think you would need to use Intel SSDs with Skylake X, I believe. That was something I heard along those lines. So it seems like Intel's really consolidating, and there's just something going on. Oh, someone said quick sync. Yeah, I think that might have been it. So
Okay.
There's just something that's, I don't know what it is with Intel right now. At the very top, that is, because I know people at Intel and they're all very nice, but at the very top, there seems like there's someone, they're just, this is a really bad corporate strategy. I don't know why they've done it this way, but bringing i5s to this lineup, the Kaby Lake X, I don't know why they exist. These other ones have all been, the 12 core and up are just being thrown in there at the last minute, and they're saying now they will not come out until the very end of this year, guys. So if you're thinking, oh, we'll be able to get that 18 core sometime soon, you're going to be waiting for a while. It's only going to be up to the 10 core that will be coming out soon, and then you'll have to wait for all these other ones to come out. And the price tags on them are just exorbitant anyway. So
well, that was a crazy thing that I saw, is that they're now releasing an 18 core. Apparently that's overclockable, so that's $2,000. I mean, look, that's much better than what they had going on with their 10 core last year, where they were charging $1,700 for it. But at least you're getting 18 this time. But still, it's a little bit too late, or too little too late now. I mean, they're only doing this because AMD has Threadripper coming out, which is going to have a lot of cores, a lot of threads, for a relatively cheap price. And the other thing that I don't like about this lineup, I really dislike, is that they're using thermal paste. So Gamers Nexus did a video with Deborah, and man, they delidded one of these chips, and it's got thermal paste on it. It's like, come on, this is meant to be the enthusiast lineup of chips, and you're... Yeah, I don't even know what to say with this. It's pretty stupid. And I mean, I don't know what the reasons are. Like, people peddle these excuses about, oh, this and that. No, the main reason is money. They're doing it to save money. That is the real reason that Intel is putting paste on the chips now.
That would be the main reason.
Yes,
I would agree. The excuse they're saying is the solder can crack over time. Yeah. But I've never been aware, from everyone I've ever talked to, I've never ever heard about that happening before with anything. So that could be something that happens, but it does seem like a big downgrade. And once again, it is. You're paying these high prices. You shouldn't have to delid the i9 range. Like, you're paying so much money for these CPUs. It should just have everything on it. All the PCI lanes, everything, all the bells and whistles. That's what it should be. And that just seems like Intel's missing the point now of their own high-end line.
But even then, doesn't the soldering argument too, isn't that really only for extreme overclockers who are going from hot to cold really quickly?
Yeah.
And that's what I heard. It doesn't even affect the average person. And the average person could easily use... average person could easily use the soldering over the delidding. So really kind of, there's a lot of disappointing things coming out of X299. The only thing that I'm looking to see is how well it overclocks. That's the only thing. And then
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and then we've got, that'll be very interesting, dude. Like, there we go. Kev's, someone memed this.
Yeah, how
man.
like self-aware I am now about saying that word.
Someone memed this, man. Okay, the X399. Okay, so we got the X399 boards. They were coming out at Computex this year. I unfortunately didn't really get a chance to cover them properly, but now we can see in what's hitting the shelves. Essentially, this is your X299 competitor. You've got 8 slots, DIMM slots. You've got quad channel memory, and of course, you've got the CPUs hitting hard here, which will be
huge socket.
Yeah, it's a massive socket, but to give AMD
imagine
credit,
the coolers.
To give AMD credit, they are allowing 64 PCIe lanes, which is huge.
Yep.
That is so much expandability for people who can utilize that. Of course, I've got my eyes on the 12 core. Apparently, the 16 core 32 threaded CPU is rumored to be coming in at, was it $850? That's the non-X, yeah?
That'll be the non-X, so that'll be $850, and by contrast, the i9 16 core will be $1,700 US dollars. So that's a huge saving.
That is really good. That is really good for people who can utilize those extra cores and threads. You're going to be absolutely in heaven at $850. One thing that I really want to see out of this. Of course, for me, like I'm talking about this from enthusiast lineup and just what's practical for everyone. I think over 8 cores, 16 threads is kind of overkill for anything really. I'd rather get the better IPC and overclock. But of course, there are people out there that will utilize those extra cores and threads. One thing that I'm really curious to see though is this 10 core 20 thread with the quad channel memory support. If we say drop that down to 8 cores, 16 threads, and then we test quad channel versus dual channel on the Ryzen platform, and then we test it in games, I want to see kind of like the gains. What can we had from doing that? That's one thing that I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think it'll be quite good. I would imagine the pricing on Threadripper, from what we can tell from that and the rumors, it would be $850 for that non-X 16 core. I'd imagine it'll probably be just straight up $1,000 for the top one, the X model 16 core, and then you'll see. Yeah, you'll see it sort of go in. The interesting thing to me is the 12 cores there's going to be 3 of them. So in all the other ones, you'll have the non-X and X models of each core count. But the 12 core is going to have a non-X and 2 X models, one with slightly higher clock speeds. So that will be quite cool to see. But the speeds, I wouldn't imagine, would be any different from Ryzen 7. You'll probably get, I mean, even in saying that though, if you could get 4 gigahertz on all 16 cores, that is going to be such a grunty CPU, like it's ridiculous, especially for $850. That's going to be just fine. Of course, the i9s will probably have the advantage with single core speeds or 2 core speeds, as Intel is saying, with Turbo Boost Max 3.0 going up to 4.5 gigahertz. So that will be good too. But we'll just have to see when it comes speed-wise with Threadripper. I think we'll have a pretty good idea already. You'll probably see 4 gigahertz or like 3.9 out of them. But the i9s, that will be, hopefully they will go quite a bit higher. And that's probably the only thing, to me anyways, that's really keeping my interest with the i9s. And that's someone who runs Broadwell E. And I've really enjoyed my 8-core Intel CPU. But these, I'm actively thinking now that I'll switch to AMD.
Actively thinking.
Actively thinking.
Not passively. You're just actively.
Not passively.
Okay.
Actively. It's a consistent thing on my
Yeah.
mind. No,
Okay.
but because to go, if I want to upgrade from what I have now, I have to go to the 10 core. But just to get 4 extra lanes and slightly higher clock speeds and 2 extra cores, and it just seems like I would have just hoped for more in an upgrade. I'm not actually sure that it would be that tremendous of an upgrade. Of course, we'll know once we start testing them soon, but that the Threadrippers to me just seem like such a better, so much better to run. Extra lanes, the lower price.
Yeah, lower price.
The lower,
extra lanes, lower price. Of course, we're going to see how well it clocks as well. But my pick here would be the 1956. That's just, that's rocking, man. 12 cores, 24 threads. Assuming you get those extra PCIe lanes.
You do on all the Threadrippers, apparently.
Oh, okay.
All of them will be 64, not just the 16 core. From what I've heard, it'll be 64 on the whole line, which is how it should be. On Broadwell E, it was the same except for the 6800K, but you got 40 on the whole line on the other 3. But this is just Intel's like step up thing. It's like, God, really, guys?
I'm going with the 1956 here. I think that's my choice, just by looking at the numbers. Of course, looking at how well the R5 1600 did, I've got to back the 12 core 24 thread here to be the best out of the whole lineup. I just think it'll utilize the extra cache, just like the R5 1600 has the same or similar amount. It does have the same amount of cache as the 8 cores, doesn't it? So hopefully they're bringing that to the 1956 as well, with the 12 cores and 24 threads. And if so, that's going to be my pick. Hopefully, I might even upgrade my workstation to the 1956.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, which is a good question for me to ask you, is how does, because you're quite a fan of the Xeons, how did the i9 range now, when you think of Intel's, these 2 lines of CPUs, the i9s and the Xeons, doesn't it seem quite weird now? Isn't there like quite a bit of overlap? or at least a little bit of overlap? Like, what's the... Because all these i9s will be Xeons, aren't they? Cut down.
I'm going to be straight up honest with you, man. I'm only a fan of used Xeons. I was a fan of new Xeons with the 1231 V3 until they realized what people were doing. Oh, they're getting a 8-threaded CPU on a B85 motherboard. Let's completely kill this market. Intel identified it, and they just killed the market. So I'm not a fan of new Xeons anymore. I mean, of course, businesses just write that off on tax. They just get whatever they need in terms of power requirements. Of course, are you going to have the ECC memory support on X299? That's a big thing for businesses. What are they going to do with the new Xeon lineup as well? I haven't really looked at any figures there. Of course, they're not really making the Xeon lineup inferior unless these chips underclock and undervolt extremely well. So it remains to be seen, really. But that's my thoughts on that. Of course, it could kill value for Xeon, sure. Like if businesses are going out and buying whatever 20-something core Xeons for $8,000, or what's their max core range, and then they can just get double the clocks on these for $2,000, then of course that's a compelling argument. They're killing their own Xeon line, sure. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I mean, it's really good. At the end of the day, it's really good that there's this competition here because obviously prices are coming down and stuff. But yeah, I think Intel very much rushed to say, because they didn't want to be, I don't know, like emasculated by the fact that AMD had a higher core counts CPU than them. So I'm not sure why they all of a sudden this rush out and say they're going to make this 18 core. I mean, that's great and all, but the fact that it's going to cost $2,000, I mean, who's going to be able to justify that? Oh, it's got 2 extra cores and probably a higher clock speed than my 16-core Threadripper. I better go out and spend like $1,000, $1,000 more on it. The one thing that not many people are talking about, and this is a very good point though, is that the X299 boards, I believe, will probably end up being cheaper on average than X399 because that socket is so huge. The X399s, I think, will be pretty expensive. They're probably going to cost a lot of money. So it'll be a harder, I think, not a harder sell, but it'll be interesting to see at the time because you have to add in the motherboard price as well to when you buy these CPUs. So if there is actually quite a big discrepancy between $299 and $399, I think that'll be something that plays in a little bit. But right now, both of them are looking very high end in terms of the motherboards themselves.
That's huge. I mean, going through a few motherboards, we've got the Gigabyte X399 up here. And yeah, you're right. That socket is just absolutely massive. That is really big. Of course,
4,000 pins. Like, well, you know, like whoa.
And then of course we've got here the X299 motherboards as well. Did you check out any of the X299s? MSI didn't have the X399 boards on their booth as well. I was kind of like, wow, okay. Did you check out any of the X299 boards? What was your favorite there?
Yeah, I've looked through, and I talked to a few people about them. The one that's looking to me that I like is the Gigabyte Gaming K7. I like that one, or Gaming 7, I think it's called, X299. That looks quite cool. Some of the MSI ones look alright. Yeah, I think they're looking very good. The motherboards on both sides, 299 and 399, are all looking awesome. Looks like they're putting on a lot of cool stuff on them. I'm interested to see now the fact that a lot of them are putting on like M.2 coolers and stuff, like these kind of like heat sinks and stuff you put on them.
Yeah.
Because in the past, when people have tested them, usually, not usually, but sometimes they would actually make it worse. You know, they would make them run hotter. So interesting that's kind of one thing that a lot of them have been going for. There seems to be RGB everywhere on all of them as well.
Yeah, that's true. That is, except for the X299, the ITX, I really liked what ASRock did.
Yeah, these mini ones. It's funny, yeah.
I like how ASRock did that. Thing. Well, straight from the get-go, ASRock released an ITX board this time. That is really cool. And I really want to get my hands on one of these. That was for me, that was a real killer point there from Asrock. They just released an ITX version they're showing an ITX version from the get-go. And look at the M.2 support on that as well. Like, that's great. I believe it can support up to 3 M.2 SSD. Yeah, there it is there. So that's a win for me. I mean, Asrock nailed it with an ITX board there. So it uses SODIMM, of course, because of its size constraints, but it looks like you'll still be able to get quad-channel memory out of that. That would be one to do a build with. Like, that would be really cool to do a build with this thing. Imagine getting like a really small, probably a 1080, and just one of these with the 8-core or something. You'd have like a mobile powerhouse, like absolutely.
Oh yeah, mini workstation.
Yeah.
Take that when you go to tech events and stuff, and you'll be able to render videos like crazy.
Well, that's what I was saying, man. My swap laptop, that held me back so much. I was like, damn. I was ready to chuck it out the window. Oh man, it would have got a real durability test then. It was just frustrating, dude, because I was editing videos and I'd just get like red screens and stuff because it was just running out of power. It didn't have enough horsepower at all. So Steve had his new MSI laptop. He was just loving it. And I was just jealous the whole time. I was like, damn. I gotta run out the hotel and just see you, Steve. Got your laptop and then start editing some videos. It was pretty cool. We shared a lot of stuff. Like, he brought a lot of good lighting as well, because I live streamed twice on the channel. I don't know what I would have done without his lights. And then I brought my condenser mic and my compressor over, and like he tried using his shotgun mic and it just echoed. It sounded terrible. So I was like, dude, use mine. He's like, okay. And he was blown away by how good this little combo sounds, man. He didn't realize that for like literally under $100, you can get something that just gives out such good audio. So he was really shocked. He was like, oh, I got to get one of those. Tell us the parts. So
yeah, Steve's lights look really good. When I was watching your stream with Steve, my girlfriend saw it and she was like, wow, Brian looks so young. Like, what happened?
Thanks, man.
And I was like,
what happened to Brian, man? He just, all that alcohol must have done something.
No, I just said to her, I was like, oh, it's just Steve's lights make him look pretty young, because I mean, Brian, like you're not so much a young man. I mean, what are you? You're 39, right?
Oh no, bro, I'm turning 40 pretty soon, man. So I'm getting on.
Okay, so,
actually turning 50, bro. That's you and your age jokes, man.
Yeah, you love them, right?
I don't know with you boys. I don't know what it is with you boys. You complain about like neck aches and stuff like that, and Steve was complaining that his feet were sore and stuff. And I'm just like, the whole trip, I'm just like, dude, you guys are gonna like get some magnesium or something into your diet, or something to help out the bones and the some fish oil or something. Just get something there to help out the rhythm, regulate this stuff. Because I was just on fire, man, in terms of like no backaches and stuff like that. You did see me probably in one of the videos like leaning over a little bit because like my liver was just that sore. It's like, yeah, let's do this interview. But besides that, I was doing all right, So
no, they look good, man. No, so Steve's lights are really cool. I enjoyed the stream you did with him as well. That was really fun to watch. But with these motherboards, I would really love to check out the Asrock ones. They would be quite cool. So, but both will be expensive. But no one should be surprised by that. Obviously, these are aimed at enthusiasts, so they're going to be expensive. So don't expect them to be cheap. But I think there's going to be a lot of competition there. I think a lot of people are going to really like it. The X399s especially. It would be very interesting to see the coolers that people end up putting on them. Water blocks and stuff will be, wow. It's
MSI are offering the EK water blocks with theirs, so that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, so
it's just going to be crazy. But
lots of money. So.
Yeah. Heat-wise, both of them are going to be really hot. They're going to have high TDPs probably. They're going to be run hot. These are going to be big CPUs in terms of just size. And of course, the new i9s are going to have a thermal interface material instead of being soldered down. From what we know so far, all the Threadrippers will be soldered down, just like all the other Ryzen CPUs. So that's good that AMD's doing that. It just seems like right now, AMD is listening. It's like Lisa is actually listening to what sort of the enthusiasts want and what the consumers want. And it seems like Intel are just not really, are they? They're just kind of putting things out there and just thinking if they stick, will they stick?
Okay, they haven't listened for years, dude. That's the thing. They haven't listened for years, and now it's starting to bite them in the ass. So who would go figure? Anyway, so the next up here we've got the AMD cryptocurrency. So Ethereum, Ethereum. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think WCCF Tech spelt it wrong too. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear about this currency until like now. The AMD graphics cards, even the RX 570s are just completely sold out. They're all sold out. RX 580s are sold out. Everyone's buying up these graphics cards and mining Ethereum. Ethereum. That sounds about right. Ethereum. So they're mining this new currency. Apparently, it's anti-asic. I haven't really delved into how and why. I don't understand this stuff, but the prices are going up. The GPUs are being used to mine Ethereum. I give up. I'm just going to call it Ether. They're using it to mine Ether, and apparently, Ether. Ether. Yeah, ETH. They're using it to mine.
That's something a bit different.
Yeah, they're using it to mine Ether, and the prices are going up. It's now, I think, $240 for one Ether. Like, that's insane. And apparently Bitcoin's like $3,000 a coin now. So cryptocurrencies are just going through the roof in 2017. So I guess a lot of people are seeing that and they're like, I want some of this pie. And they're just buying all these things out and starting up mining farms again. So it's back in fashion, and that's great for AMD. Hey, if they can sell.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
That's what I mean. They should just get Vega out there ASAP, regardless. Like, if people are buying up all these cards for mining, AMD just need to release Vega, even if it is kind of like early Enjo material at the moment. Just get it out there and just get the sales. Come on, AMD, take care of yourselves.
Well, they put the Frontier Edition Vega GPU that's going to be coming out soon, and so they obviously got something, but yeah, it just seems like it's, we got to wait another 2 months now, and that's not for Vega to be released, although it may be released in 2 months time, but all they've said is that it will be announced in 2 months time, so it could be even longer. A lot of people are saying we probably won't see Vega until the end of the year, like Q4 or something. So they really need to. It's just taking too long. Pretty much, NVIDIA will go an entire life cycle. The 1000 series will do its whole lifespan pretty much unopposed on the high end.
That was one thing range. That was really annoying about it. Like, I was really hoping for Computex to be like a huge launch for Vega, and a lot of other people were too. I was really disappointed with that. Like, I was like, damn, man. Like, okay, we're delaying it again. Oh. And I thought I was like going to be, like me and Steve, I thought we were going to be like the only tech channels that missed out on the initial launch, because we had to attend the MSI booth day one. But apparently it wasn't just us. There was a lot of other tech tubers there at the booth. I met Dimitri and Eba at the booth.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man, they were really cool guys.
Yeah.
They were really cool. And I met them at the MSI booth. And then I think Jay was there and Paul. I didn't see Paul's hub. I heard he was there. And then Wendell was there. There's just so many people there. It's like, oh, everyone else is missing out on the AMD announcement. I guess it's not that important. And it wasn't. So I was kind of... I was really disappointed because Vega coming into this whole event. Like, my biggest thing that I was looking forward to was Vega, because I as much as we talk about Threadripper and the i9 series, again, anything over 8 cores is really not that relevant, especially for gaming at the moment, for gaming. So, but yeah, here it is. AMD just released Vega. Like, get it out there. People are just snapping them up for Ether. So. Ethereum.
And that's a good point you raised as well. The fact that these high core count CPUs, if you're just someone that's going to be playing games, and you shouldn't even be looking right now anyways. Maybe in the future games will be able to utilize this amount of cores, but for right now, maybe the 6 core, I suppose, if you really want, that would be okay, or potentially that 8 core. But beyond that, you don't really need to be looking at these for if you're just going to be doing gaming. Now, for people like myself and Brian and other tech YouTubers who need the gaming performance, well, not so much the gaming performance, but the productivity performance for rendering and stuff like that, then these make a lot more sense. But even then, there's always going to be that value for money, one where you want to go for that gives you that nice amount of performance for the right price. And on the i9 so far, it looks like it'll be that 10 core, and with the Threadrippers, as Brian was saying earlier, it looks like that lowest 12 core Threadripper. Once we find out the pricing for it, that'll be probably the good one to go for on that. That'll probably be really good value.
Cool. Well, one thing I might sell all my AMD cards on eBay. Might be a good time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Get on that.
Might get there for them. Yeah.
Get some new camera gear, man. I'm dying for some camera upgrades, especially after Computex. I saw what other people had, and my jaw just dropped. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could record some videos with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's my main goal, is to get some camera upgrades for the channel, make the content just that next level now. So, yeah, there we go. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Do you think?
Did you have a nice flight back, bro? Was it okay?
I did, man. I spoke to an overclocker, a case modder, an overclocker. So it was really cool. We spoke the whole way home. So I'm gonna be probably doing some work with some of those. The whole scene was just so cool, man. Like some of the modding scene, it was just so cool to get along with those guys, man. They're so down to earth. So yeah, Computex was amazing, absolutely amazing. So I got like a hangover from not being there. So it was just really cool atmosphere. Everyone was into tech. Everyone, the nightlife was great too, man. Wow. Taipei nightlife was really good too.
Yeah, so, I heard Steve told me about your exploits.
Oh, we'll just keep that off the channel, bro.
Yeah, I know. You should have dragged him out with you, man. He always seemed like he was just staying.
I tried to, man. I was like, dude, we've got to come out, Steve. You've got to come out. Like, it's not just for the partying and the free drinks and the free amazing food and the free everything, but it's for networking as well, man. The amount of like, I met the project manager at Microsoft. I walked her home, like. This is just, some random YouTube scrub walking home the project manager at Microsoft.
Nice.
So it was really cool, man. Just like really cool experiences. The whole like trip was just amazing. It was just really cool. Like, yeah, just so happy, man. Like that was just an awesome trip. It's something I needed too. So.
Yeah. No, that's good. I asked in the chat if people had any questions for us.
So yeah, it's a short show today.
So we could get through. Yeah, just thought we'd go through a few ones if people think. If you guys have any questions, just let us know right now. Someone asked GTX 1060 3GB versus RX 570. That's hard to say. I would say it depends on which monitor you're running.
What have we have? GTX
1060 3GB versus RX 570. I'm guessing is meaning it.
Yeah, but you won't get it like now with those prices. The 570s are
they'd all be sold out.
Yeah, like you have to go with a 1060 now. I mean, if you can pick up either of them for cheaper, get whichever one's cheaper. I think that's the verdict that I think Steve and I both discussed this behind the scenes, or even discussed it on the Patreon live. We did a Patreon live, and actually we went through this for like 20 minutes, I think. Just talking about both our views. And at the end of the day, it was like, yeah, just get whichever one is cheaper where you live, because they're so similar in performance. Of course, if you can utilize FreeSync and that is a massive selling point for you, then go with that. But a lot of the people everyone I spoke to doesn't use it. No one uses G-Sync or FreeSync. A lot of the guys, because all my friends were competitive gamers, or we'd like to at least game the best we can. So we all turn that off, all the syncing technologies. So it just depends different strokes for different folks. But yeah, my advice would just grab whatever one's cheaper. They're both really good cards.
Yeah, they are. People put in brackets, walk to home. Put in brackets, networking with a winky face.
That's it, networking with a winky face, bro. You got to get in there. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look, some of those comments, man, that people knew what was going on. People knew what was going on. with the yes man in Taipei. So
Yeah, I definitely knew what was going on. But yeah, someone said I have 2 times 780, 3 GB and play 1440p all the time, where you need 6 GB on. Well, I guess you say, will you need 6 GB on a 1060 for 1080p gaming? Generally, you probably can get away with it, but depending on the type of game, you might need to change some of the settings. Generally, you'd want 4 GB of VRAMs, kind of like a good minimum, I like to think, even at 1080p gaming. Once you go beyond, was he asking about 1440p? Once you start going a bit beyond that, yeah, you do want a little bit more. Yeah, he was saying 1440.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 6 gigs would be plenty.
6 gigabytes would be fine. Yeah. That's plenty. Like, it depends on the game. Even if you run into problems, just drop some of the settings. I mean, some of those settings just kill the VRAM. So just drop it a notch. That's always been my approach. Just look at the game, set it up to what hardware you have. So, and always get the best experience. I mean, for me, Ultra, like I've said this before, Ultra's always been a waste for me. I've never really gained any visual benefit out of it, except all my hardware has just been taxed. Like it's like going to a country with ridiculous tax rates, but that little bit better standard of living, just a little bit better. Do you want to do that? A little bit. Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice that? That's a question you have to ask yourself. So, but yeah, we might get on out of here. I've got to test all those used parts that I brought back. I'm actually going to do a video testing all the used parts that I brought back. I've also got a build with a Overwatch YouTuber as well. That's coming to the channel. There's a popular Overwatch YouTuber, and she needs me. She lives on the Gold Coast, and
that's good.
Yeah, and she wants me to build her she's got all the parts sponsored.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go build the computer, overclock it, tune it, everything. It'll be the next PC House Call episode. So. And then whatever she wants to do on her channel's her biz. So, yeah. Yeah.
No, okay. That's cool, man. What was the best thing you bought, used part? What was the thing you're most excited about getting?
The Phenom, the 6 core.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I wanted to do that because I legit, and a lot of people have been asking me to do a build with that. I legit wanted to do a build with that and the motherboard. And I was just hustling, man, those streets. I was going hard. Anyway, it was just one shop. They just had it out the back. They're like, I was like, what's this? And they're like, oh, AM3 board, 6-core Phenom. I'm like, yeah, let's talk prices. And they came in around 1,800 Thai dollars, which would be like $60 or $70. I'm like, nah, look, here's the deal. 1,500, boys, or I walk. And then they're like, yeah, 1,500's okay. So I'm like, yeah, here you go. Cash, bang, out the door. So yeah, I got it for about $50 US for the motherboard and the 6-core Phenom. So I was pretty happy about that. That was really cool. So that'll be a build for the ages. That'll be a good one to jot down. How well does it perform? Yeah.
And then of course the yes man was hustling, and you should that'd be quite a cool thing for you to do with the video. Like if you have not like so much a hidden camera, but a camera where it's not so much in someone's face, maybe partly hidden or something, and then you can be like how to negotiate, how to do the yes man hustle, and you can go into places and do some negotiations and show how you get these good deals and stuff.
Well, I'd love to do that, man. Like I've got to get a cameraman. That's what I mean. I need a cameraman. I'm not holding that thing by myself.
But I think no, I mean if they don't know, if they're not like that aware, because if you had a cameraman with you, they maybe like be a bit more reserved or something. Yeah. I'm just thinking for the sake of like that might be interesting to some people to see how you go about it, because you tend to be able to get these pretty good.
Well, if anyone has anyone has a recommendation, for something like I've got no idea what I'd buy. What would be something little that would be inconspicuous and would be kind of like people wouldn't notice, but I could record. I'd be down for that any day of the week.
Or you can always just record audio. Just have a small mic on you or something, or be holding your phone in your hand with the recording going, and then you can just say like, hey, show that or something like that. But
dude, I ended up at this mall, I ended up walking to the top floor, dude. I just did not care. I was going into repair. Like, I think I went into Kingston's repair warranty service place. I just walked right up to the back. The dude at the back walked straight past the front chick at the counter. I'm just like, dude, I'm looking for some used parts. Here's the bag here. Like, I'm like, Urshel, pointing to the bag. And I'm like, I pulled out some money. I'm like, I want to buy. And he's like, dude, this is a repair center, man. I'm just like, I don't care.
The yes man hustle.
Just that's it, man. Just don't stop. You're just anywhere, man. No place is off limits. Hey, they got a storefront. It's open to the public. Hey, it's open for me to come in and just hustle for some used parts.
Is that your philosophy, Brian? It's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Exactly, man. That's it. No asky, no. I come from the school of no asky, no getty, man. So yeah, it's something like, dude, if someone comes up to me and they ask questions, man, I'm happy. I love that guy. He's hustling. That's respect, So
yeah,
it's the same. It's just that it's a world, man. You just got to stop sitting down and thinking and just do stuff. Just do it.
That's good, bro.
Yeah. I'm incorporating the 1990s Nike slogan. Just do it. Yeah, that's it. Just hustle it. So, yeah, man. So that was awesome. So we'll be closing off. Thanks, Kev, for joining us for episode 29. And I'll make a thread on the forums this week so you guys can drop some questions in if you have questions. And
yeah, we just had one last question, Brian. It came from a Steve at Hardware Unboxed, and he asked,
okay.
What did Brian, tell them about the Coolermaster pickup line with it. Really?
Oh, crap.
Was it that good?
No, it was just such a...
He didn't tell me. I talked to Steve the other day. He didn't tell me about this.
This is okay. This is the story, man. This is gonna... All right, I will say this one. It's so... it's bad, but it's actually funny. Okay, so I'm at the MSI booth day one. And now this is my manager at Coolermaster. She's the lady that I talk to for samples and stuff. Like, nice. I didn't realize, because she came up and said, like, she came up to me at the MSI booth day one. She's like, "Hey Brian, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, you coming to the Coolermaster party tonight?" And I'm like, that was like my day off. I was so wrecked. I'd already been drinking 4 days straight for that time, like 6 in the morning. And I was like, "Oh, look, I kind of need a night off tonight." And she said, "Oh, my name's Javi." And I'm like, it didn't click to me that this was Havaria, the chick that I was talking with on email. And so I'm at the Coolermaster booth like a few days later doing the video for him. And I'm just like, "Hey, what's up?" You because I was feeling better at that time. I'd had a day off, and I'd been partying a little bit, but it's like, "You going partying tonight? Like, what's up?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm wrecked." It was like her day off. She was like, "I'm wrecked." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, damn." And I was like, "Well, that's all cool. We can bring the party to my place." And she's like, "I've got a boyfriend." And I was like, "Oh, snap." And then later, later, Steve was like, because Steve was there. I think Steve was there. He's like, "Dude, you do realize that's the person sending you samples?" I'm like, "Oh, no way." I'm like, then it clicked. I'm like, "Oh, that's her." I'm like, yeah, but like I've said to everyone, man, when I'm single, man. And until I find a girlfriend, that's it. I'm hustling everything. It's not just used parts. I'll be hustling. Yeah, so
getting those samples, right?
Man,
having a bit of a try,
Yeah, man. No, it's it. So it was awesome. It was just it was the funniest story, man. It was just.
I bet Steve was laughing.
Well, yeah, we had no idea. Steve made his own mistake, and that's up for him to tell the audience too. So he did. He can tell his side of the story as well. He had an interesting story to tell with that too. It wasn't just me. So at the end of the day, I was just the dumb guy. So I was oblivious. So I didn't know. No one told me. So
yeah,
because I thought it was pronounced like Xavier, right? Like Xvaria. So I didn't have any idea that Javi and so it did.
No, I know. I've been in that situation before where you think you kind of like imagine the name would be pronounced differently, and then you sort of get taken back a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't click at all, man. Didn't click. But yeah, it was good times, man. That was just one of the, I think it was like the best, it was definitely the best business trip I've ever been on. So that was just insanely good. I loved it. So
Yeah.
awesome trip. Anyway, you guys jump onto the forums too if you got questions. techcity.tv/forums. If you want to ask a question, we'll be opening up a new thread. And also, ooh, I banged the microphone. That's a sin on live stream. Also, guys, head over to Patreon. And if you want to support $1 a month, you can get access to live stream. So, yeah. And the content will be getting a lot better now. I'm going to pull my ass back into professional gear. It's going to be professional YOLO content coming out now. So, it's all back. It's all back. That's good. Yeah. The mojo's back after that trip to Taipei. It's back 100%. So, right, dude.
Yeah.
You have a good day.
Yeah, bro. I'm going to be checking out I'm going to be doing a B Thrifty motherboard review this week. So,
rock on.
The good old B Thrifty, bro. That MSI Tomahawk everyone's been going on about.
Ah, you're going to overclock that. You're going to get into it. There you go.
I'll take a look at it. Yeah, it should be pretty cool, man. It looks pretty solid.
I got to watch some of your content, man. Sorry, I missed it. I was just busy as. So.
So all good, man. All right, see you guys, man.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll catch you in the next week of the Tech Lounge. Peace out for now. Bye.
See you guys.